As I said last week, I'm going to be working on a work of art with you guys. So I'm following the same process. I did 6 thumbnails. Now I'm taking one of the thumbnails. I'm actually going to do a slightly larger rough draft drawing. It's not super detailed, guys. It's a little more detailed than the quick little thumbnails, but it's still not super detailed. I'm mapping out, I'm making sure that my perspective is right. I'm making sure that my shading and my shadows are good. I'm planning out making sure that the background, everything is balanced the way that it should be, because even though I'm looking at a picture. This is a picture that my mother-in-law took. It's not from the internet, and I have permission to use this photo that she took. It may not work, the photo may not be balanced, and that's why even if you choose to do a photograph for the art show, which is totally fine, you still have to map everything out. You still have to plan everything. You still have to do little sketches of what you're planning on taking a picture of, because the photo doesn't always come out balanced or with enough contrast and things like that, and you may have to go in and edit, which there's tons of free apps, and I will list some if you need them. If you are planning on doing a photograph and you want some of that, please email me, and I'm happy to give you some free apps that you might be able to use on your Chromebook or on your phone. And if you wanted to edit, so you can play with the contrast, you can play with you can crop the photo so that it's balanced and the composition is good. Tons of things. So I'm gonna be working on that today. I'm working on this week, just like with you guys. You guys are working on this week. I'm working on this week. And because I want to increase the amount of conversation you guys are having, I want you to talk about each other's work. I'm gonna put my images in your slides on Thursday that you're going to talk about. When you put your images in, I want you to give me your opinion and make sure that you're using the proper vocabulary. You can tell me, Miss Canellis, I'm not sure that balance is going to work. I'm not sure that there's enough contrast. I'm not sure that you're using movement effectively or something like that. That's okay. But you can also tell me what is working. I want you to practice that. We've gotta get used to not only talking about our own work, but discussing it with each other. And if we were in the classroom, we would be doing this in person. So we can do it through Google Slides, and then it's nice because we're not in person. Google Slides still lets you be a little bit not in the spotlight, right? Because I can see the conversations, I can see who has added stuff, but I can't see what they've added. So you can come in and you can talk about things. I can see that you're participating. That's what you get, your participation grade. But you're not, front row and center. And I know that some of you that are maybe a little more shy might have that concern. That's why I chose to do it this way through Google Slides. So you still can kind of be a little bit in the background, you're not all in the spotlight. I get that. Maybe you don't want to be there, but you can still do group participation like this, and you can just do it where you're kind of anonymous, okay? So let me get started on this and we'll see how it turns out. Okay, so as you can see here, this is not complete. I'm just thinking, okay, this is where the mountain is going to be. I've got clouds that kind of cut off the top of that mountain. There's a big tree in the front. There is a building that runs along behind it. And then it's sort of, the photograph sort of is framed. We've got trees that go along this side and trees that go along this side that are close. And then the mountain is far away. So this is kind of a fun picture. The reason I like it is because it does play with space, being one of our elements of art. So we have this huge mountain, but because it's so far away, it's going to be much smaller than these giant, big trees that we have that are really close, right? So my hand here looks smaller than this hand because it's further away, okay? So I'm playing with space. I'm also looking at shadows. I'm gonna have like darks through here, and then in the background here across the mountain, because these clouds, the big clouds, cast a shadow onto these mountains back here. These will be really dark edges, light. The sky is gonna be super blue. There's gonna be a touch of red in the roof of this house. There's gonna be some darks through here. So that's gonna balance out. There will be green throughout. There's green in the mountain, there's green in the trees. Even those little trees that are behind the house, like there's different shades of green throughout. That's going to give it unity. To tie through some of that. There'll be a little bit of emphasis because really the rooftop is sort of this orangey red, and it's the only orangey warm color in the whole piece. Everything else could be blues and greens. So we'll have a little bit of emphasis on this area, which is actually gonna bring your eye to the mountain, which is what I want it to do. So that emphasis, that pop of red that's gonna be kind of in this area right here on the roof is really gonna like draw attention to this area of the drawing, which is what I want. So we will see. I'm going to continue to work on this and like kind of making sure that all my little details are in place. And then I'm going to get ready to actually sketch it out on the canvas. So that'll be toward the end of this week, early next week, where I'm actually going to start painting. Fun times.